A patriot is never a mistaken word anywhere. It simply refers to all men and women of integrity who has an inner desire to uphold the truth and sincerity. Now, the word patriot is mostly understood to be patriotism, therefore calls for an unquestionable loyalty to a good cause, and be it to the country or anywhere the need arises. So my guest today, you've been introduced to him earlier, but let us meet him in person. So, drum bells rolling. Meet my guest today, Francis Daniel Ukumagba. I got that pronunciation right.
Yes.
Good. He's my brother. Okay, so we're discussing patriotism today. Your profile is so laudable that I couldn't even keep up to speed with it. So let's just hear from the horse's mouth. What's that part of your profile that relates to what we're discussing today?
My name is Francis Ukumagba. Was former executive director of one of the top big banks. I've spent 25 years in the banking industry. I relocated to Canada and had a stint with World Financial Group where I spent 2 years. And seeing and being exposed in that environment, I realized the potential that we have in Nigeria. And I had to relocate back to Nigeria because Nigeria is the investment bride of the world today. And I want to be part of the success story. All
right, if you haven't seen anything yet, we had a talk before the camera started rolling. He will put you on your toes in case you're doubtful of who you are as a Nigerian. But I promise you a very interesting time as he's about to tell us his own view, in your estimation, or from where you're coming from to where you're at today. Who's a patriot?
A patriot is somebody that has emotional attachment to what he likes and what he's seeing. So somebody who sees the potentials of having a home, if you have a home where you have a family, you protect that home, you protect the environment, and the people in that environment become emotionally attached to you, and anything that happens around them, you want to be there for them.
The word emotion, I am a bit not comfortable with it. Emotion is fleeting. Now, I could be happy about a thing today, the next day I'm not so happy about it. So what if the emotion changes? I just develop love for being a South African. What happens?
The emotion doesn't change. Sentimentally, you can deviate from your focus emotionally,
okay,
but you always come back to that focus.
Okay.
Because what ties you to that focus is not something that is external. For instance, you have parents. You cannot disown your parents. You still come back to them, whatever the situation is, because the relationship that you have with them, it is not bought by you. They are not friends.
Very true.
They are not friends. And for example, what created the relationship is not tied to you. What created the relationship as a Nigerian is not tied to you because we were born in Nigeria.
So I should just love my country because I'm Nigerian?
Yes, to start with, you are origin, you are a Nigerian origin, and because of that, you have some sentimental attachment because you have that affinity to that environment because you are from that environment. If you want to test it, look at the religious sentiment that people have to the different religions that we have. The Christians and the Muslims. Look at the attachment. Look at how they hold on to what they have. It's the same thing. It's just that in our country, a lot of our initial leaders, political leaders.
Let's even go historical. Let's do this.
Nigeria.
We said that the problem is not the government. Before you said no, it was not the government.
No.
Now I asked, why are we the way we are? Why religion? Why ethnic rather than Nigeria? No one seems to love Nigeria. It looks like an orphan child.
People love Nigeria, but it's just that the leaders that evolved Nigeria from the colonial masters created sentimental attachment to religion and tribalism. So our country is not tied to us, the country. The country does not come first. What comes first is the tribal sentiment and the religious sentiment because of the original leaders. After the independence,
we are a multifaceted people. We are a mixed crowd, just like the USA.
Yes.
So what did they do that even in 52 states, it's still America first? We are where they existed as kingdoms, then to zones, and now to regions, and now to zones. Those ones who came up, we just mentioned, in the Zika and all of those times, they only tried to bring Nigeria from where they're coming from. That was not an error. But what ingredient was lacking to see beyond the ethnic, where they were coming from, to the one country called Nigeria?
Many people did not take ownership of Nigeria. They took ownership of their regions.
But that was what they sold to us.
That's not what is happening in America. America comes first. Nobody talks about the tribal sentiment. Nobody talks about where you came from. And if you go to Britain, it's the same thing. But our origination after independence was tied to tribal sentiment. So the leaders who started with affinity to their religious sentiment and their tribal sentiment. So that is the misconception that we have in our entity, Nigeria.
Let's allow the bones of the leaders rest. For those who have taken it from them, taken the baton from them, where would they have fixed it?
Well, to start with the style of education that we have in Nigeria.
Beautiful.
The colonial masters who brought education to Nigeria focused on producing interpreters, teachers, mainly civil servants. Those were the people they were training. So the ingredients to actually get people to understand the one Nigeria, the oneness and all that was not emphasized at the beginning.
Could you explain this concept a little bit? For say someone who's just joining us right now on the show, they've lost track of what we've said before. You said they produce interpreters, teachers, and all of those lights. How does this affect what we're talking about? The
colonial masters who came into Nigeria prior to independence,
giving us education.
Giving us the style of education they gave was tied to the need that they had at that time.
That they had?
At that time. Coming to Nigeria, looking at the Nigerian setting, how are we going to use people? They needed interpreters that would be interpreting what they are saying to the larger populace of people. They also needed people that would teach people how to read and write. And they also needed people that can actually work in the civil service, government, so that they can actually make governance do well. But at the end of the day, that's the original foundation that was created in our educational system. Education is not tied to what you want. It's tied to the society and how that individual can actually do well in the society.
All right, I forgot to tell you, my viewers, that he's a wealth coach. You can see that we're gradually moving to unemployment and how you can stand on your own. I mean, it's all patriotic. How can you be patriotic with an empty stomach? That's not possible. And I hate when people say, it's the government. The government hasn't given me this. So let's bring that in. Now you've gone historic a little bit, and now you're gradually coming to the fact that it was more need-based for them rather than what Nigeria needed as at that time. So where are we right now? Where are we at right now?
Nigeria is the investment bride of the world.
You said that before.
You don't need one naira to start any business. So when people talk about government, everything you need to succeed in Nigeria is in Nigeria. If you take a Nigerian outside Nigeria to a place where the environment is hostile, the climatic condition is bad, they can't understand the language, they excel.
Reason being?
Because we have the instinct. Nigerians are very passionate people. They learn very fast.
They bring their passion home.
We have what it takes to actually bring it home. And those who are well oriented will see it. We have leaders, a lot of leaders who evolved in this our current dispensation. And leaders, a lot of them actually became very wealthy and became very successful, not seeing what they are doing. And you must create role models that people must copy.
Sure.
So we evolved leaders who don't do anything, and people started emulating people who don't do anything. So everybody wants to make money with doing little or nothing. That is the originality of our problem. It's not government. Because what we need is an environment. What is an environment? Do you know the number of people that are actually jobless today? There are a lot of people who are illiterate who claim that because they don't have education, they cannot succeed.
Okay, let me take you
back. They are sitting there doing nothing.
Let me take you back on your last statement. You said we have everything we need.
Correct.
I beg to take a step back. Now, everything we need, including what and what? You named it.
We have mineral resources.
Well,
everything that we have about mineral resources.
Human capital, all of that.
Our climatic condition is fantastic.
Yes.
We don't have
soil conditions, beautiful.
I don't know what.
Other countries are going nuclear. They're going places where we can't even imagine. But Nigerians are the one actually championing those things there. Now, why are Nigerians leaving Nigeria? Why is there a brain drain where the guys who can actually do this stuff? You just mentioned you went to Canada.
Yes.
Now, what did you do differently? Why did you come? The government has not changed. Just names have changed. Situations have not changed.
When I was living in Nigeria, I thought I was going to an environment that has everything. The environment is good. We have the tax system is very good, and anything you need, you will get. There will be lights, there will be everything. But the truth about it is, if you go into a foreign environment, you cannot be that individual in that country. You become second fiddle in that country. And I saw myself as a graduate who has been executive director of a bank, looking at working in an organization where people that are not up to and have the type of experience and exposure that I have, taking rightful position and making me second fiddle in the organization. I couldn't take it. And I also looked at our environment. Many of them actually don't have ambition. You see somebody that is working to own a house, just one house, and at the end of the day retire into old people's home. So their dreams and all that does not tie into what we actually have. They don't take up the family system like we take up the family system in Nigeria environment and all that. But if you look at the circumstances that I find myself there, I realize that home can and not be. In fact, home is the best. Anybody that is living outside Nigeria should check himself and find out what he's doing, whether he's enjoying it, and whether he's actually taking care of his immediate resources. In Nigeria, if you do anything that you are doing outside Nigeria, you will make 20 times what you are making in that environment.
Okay, let's step the ball down. Practically, what did you do different?
You see, in Nigeria, you can be your own local government. But because of the desire and our circumstances, we're able to dream big and actually have the challenge to actually achieve those objectives. Because whatever you desire in life, you get it. In that environment, you are confined with your aspirations. And you are, if you go abroad, you see some people learning how to just be teachers, do one small vocational program that they can actually use to succeed in life. In Nigeria, everything you need, you can get within your environment and succeed. I came back to Nigeria after my stint in Canada, and today what I'm doing is teaching people how to start business without one naira in their pocket, how to do whatever business they're into. Do you know in Nigeria you can start a school without one naira in your pocket? Do you know with a capital of 10,000 you can make over ₦1 million selling sugarcane without touching the sugarcane? Our environment is very rich. You can build an estate without one naira in your pocket. All so right. Where is government in this whole thing? Aha,
that's the question. Let's pause. Now let's talk government. Let's talk leadership. Now, if I quiz you a little bit further, you were going to tell me that the climatic conditions are not in terms of climate. I mean the ease of doing business. We talked about that earlier. I'm sure you ran into one of those two turmoils when you came in. Now, how does that affect? You're not sounding like a preacher right now, because we've heard this. You're not saying anything people have not heard. Now, the ease of doing business, how favorable is it? I can pick monies in the street. How can I do that? With every step I take, someone's at my toe.
What we need is proper reorientation of our people.
From whose part?
The basic educational system. We need to change the educational system to tweak the educational system in such a way that we can have more vocational schools than university. We have so many graduates that cannot express themselves as graduates, cannot translate what they've learned into applying what will make them start making money. We have a situation where people talk about government every day, government. In your house, as an individual, if your father is a non-entity, does it make it impossible for you to succeed?
Of course not.
No. So if you have a system, and if you are in that house, and the house is not doing very well, and you have the exposure to make it better, will you not do something to make it better because you have a father that is an illiterate? If you have a father that is an illiterate, does it mean that you cannot be a graduate and express yourself as a graduate?
My father holds my destiny to an extent.
Your father does not hold your destiny. Fathers hold destinies, non-entities. Fathers who did not go to school and all that will not have anything to show. Alright,
we'll go on a short break. When we're back, we'll dissect this issue even further, talking about mentorship, nation building, with of course our very robust guests. Please keep watching.
Television Nigerian is here to avail you with that information you need for all-round development through its mind-blowing programs such as news, talk shows, health and safety, governance and politics, sport, entertainment, kiddies, documentaries, finance, global happenings, human disposition from childhood to adulthood. It's a manifestation of what you see, what you hear and say. Tune in and stay tuned to TVN, Television Nigeria, broadcast beyond boundaries.
It's always a pleasure to welcome you back, to have you back. Before we took a break, it was sizzling hot in here. I could even feel the heat myself. It's been long I talked to someone who's this passionate about a country called Nigeria, our country called Nigeria. But today we're not doing theory. It's all practical. His life story is enough to make you change your mind in case you're double guessing if you really love Nigeria or not. But let the conversation go. Your last thought was if your dad was a ne'er-do-well, does that make you a ne'er-do-well? So you were driving somewhere. So let's finish that thought.
The point I'm trying to make is that Nigeria is the investment bride of the world. You don't need one naira to start a business. And for those who keep talking about government, a people is the government they produce. And if we are producing a government, then we must support the government to succeed. Everybody has a role to play in that governance. Because if you have a ruler and the people don't want him to govern them, the ruler cannot succeed. So don't make excuses, because a lot of people use excuses to actually block the things that they can actually use to succeed. People make excuses of, I don't have money, I don't have capital to start business, I don't have enough education, oh, the government is bad and all that. That is the simplest way to fall out of the way and actually fail in life. I relate patriotism to your personal home. The fact that your father is an illiterate and does not know what to do does not mean that you should be a failure. So Nigeria can have a government that is not right, it's a temporary thing, it can come up to be a better government tomorrow. So for the individuals, everybody should go back to the fact that you are a Nigerian, you became a Nigerian because you were made Nigerian by God, not by a man. You can choose a country, you can choose a religion, you can choose your tribal sentiment and all that, but if you put Nigeria first, you will think first on how you can actually solve the problem that we're talking about.
Okay, that reminds me of the US president's speech at where he went to do that US first. So yes. The slogan now is not
Nigerian first.
I saw Ghana first the other time. All right, so we're about to wrap up, but before we do that, let's talk mentorship. Now, we're just a straight leadership, we took a scratch on it, but mentorship, I think it's one of the biggest issues, as much as followership. Who are you mentoring right now? Do you have a mentor?
I do. I have mentors. And what I tell people is that they should do the arithmetic sign to select people that they should actually be friends with. The minus, the addition, division, and multiplication. Make your multipliers your role models. I have role models that are older than me, more experienced, and more successful than me. And that's what gives me the piloting and the multiplier and effect to actually attain what I attain in life. Today, mentorship is something that starts from the home, it starts from your environment, it starts from the leadership that we have around. Nigeria needs to do something about our leadership so we can have the right mentorship to actually put people in the right direction to get things done around them. If we do a total reorientation, we will be the best to relate with it in anywhere in this world because we will be able to get our best and put our best forward. Let everybody think Nigeria first. Liken it to when we have a football match and the way you have a passion for Nigeria. When you go abroad, anytime you go abroad, you see Nigerians looking for where they can get in Nigerian restaurants to eat and all that. If you are very patriotic and you can think that way and watch football match like that, what is happening to you? Please don't use government as an excuse. You have what it takes to actually attain what you want to attain in life. Check your environment. We have everything. The resources is there. The mineral resources, the people are very passionate. And all you need to do is change the way you think. Don't make excuses. If you make excuses, you will be presenting your weak point. But if you don't make excuses and you overcome the excuses and you face the excuse, you will solve the problem that we have in our environment today. Nigeria is the investment bride of the world. Everybody is looking at coming to Nigeria because the return they can make in Nigeria, you can't make it anywhere in the world. So come and see what you can do with Nigeria. Those who are asset, I'm inviting you to come because there's a lot of money to be made in Nigeria. You can't make the type of money you are making abroad now in Nigeria if you come to Nigeria.
With topics